Good. Okay, well then we can get started here. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Brian Kelka. I'm a vice president in the distribution operations business unit here at DTE. And we are recording this here in our system operations center. This really is the heartbeat of our distribution grid, where we can monitor power flows on the grid, understand where there may be damage, and then reroute power where needed. So what I want to do here today is provide an update on the weather that came across our territory yesterday and what our response has been thus far. So as we know, yesterday evening we had severe weather hit southeast Michigan. That weather brought with it 70-mile-an-hour plus winds. In fact, we did see a reported wind gust of 76 miles an hour at Metro Airport, which we haven't seen here from a straight line wind standpoint in years. That weather did generate around 300,000 customer outages across our entire system, so the damage was rather widespread. We had a number of individuals working through the evening last night, and we have people working this morning. Thus far, we've restored about 120,000 of those customers who were impacted. So about 38% thus far from a restoration rate standpoint. As we look forward to today and then tomorrow, our goals are to restore 75% of those customers who were affected by the end of the day today. And that number will move to 90% by the end of the day tomorrow. And the balance of those remaining customers would be restored by Friday. So when you think about resourcing an event like this is really an all-hands-on-deck approach at DTE. We have individuals from our corporate staff functions, finance, legal, communications. Everyone is really aligning on supporting our customers during this rather challenging time. We've also reached out to a number of our utility partners across the Midwest, and we have over 400 crews, about 1,200, 1,300 individuals who are here on property now. They've come from as far away as Wisconsin, Tennessee, New York, some of the other Midwest states as well. So this really is an all-hands-on-deck approach to remove some of the hazards to the public, but also to restore our customers in a timely manner. We do recognize as well this weather event did cause a number of school outages. We have upwards of 350 schools in our service territory that are without power. So we do recognize that while people at their individual home might have power, the fact that schools might not have power does create challenges for those individuals. As I sit here now, the thing I want to make sure that everyone is aligned around is safety. That is our number one priority. As you can imagine, a weather event of this magnitude does bring down power lines across our service territory. So a couple of rules of thumb that we like to communicate. If you can stay indoors, please do so. All right, yourself, your children, your pets, please stay indoors if at all possible. If you do have to venture outside and you come across caution tape, please heed the warning of the caution tape itself. It is there to identify a down power line. Please do not cross the caution tape itself. If you see a power line when you're outside, please stay at least 25 feet away from it. And if the power line is in contact with a fence or some other object, do not in any way touch that object because it could be carrying some of that electricity. Also generators. So we know when people do lose power, they do have generators. Generators can be extremely deadly due to the fumes that they emit. So please operate your generators outside. Please move them away from doors and from windows to ensure that everybody stays safe. So my closing remarks here would be that please understand, we understand the challenges that not having electricity presents to our customer base. We are laser focused on removing safety hazards, but also restoring power here over the next couple of days. And we have thousands of individuals here on our property helping to support that cause. So please be patient with us. Please please treat the individuals out in the field with respect. They're doing a great job, and it's very challenging conditions with the heat and some of the challenging work out there. So please grant them some grace as they're doing their work in the field. So that will conclude my remarks. Thank you.
Could you talk a little bit about some of the challenges you guys may have faced trying to get people back online outside of the sheer volume of how many customers were without power so quickly?
So yeah, the challenge, one of the big challenges we're seeing is in some storms you will have a very localized area that loses power, so you can flood it with resources in a very tight geographic footprint. This storm is not that. We have devastation, the tip of the thumb down almost to the Ohio border. So we have individuals and resources scattered all over the territory to help restore power, which brings a little bit of challenge with it. I would also say with the wind speed that we had, the damage is significant. This is not necessarily lifting a limb off of a line and restoring power. You've got broken poles, you have broken infrastructure. Replacing that infrastructure can take a little bit of time, and that will be a challenge as well. But we are fully committed to the work at hand, and everyone's really laser focused on doing what they can to restore power as quickly as they possibly can.
Last week you guys highlighted the smart grid technology you guys have been investing in, the recloser technology. How did that play a factor into last night's storms, and how many people were spared from losing power because of this technology?
I haven't received the exact numbers on how many individuals were spared, but what I can say is we do have instances from the weather yesterday that these reclosers helped to minimize the size of the outage, because they were able to break a circuit up into smaller pieces. So instead of the entire circuit losing power, it was a very small pocket of customers. So we do know there are thousands of individuals that we serve who did not experience an outage because of the technology. One of the other benefits of the technology is the ability, right from this control center that we're talking from right now, where individuals here can actually press buttons and operate the devices in the field. So where we have damage, they can open and close some of these devices and reroute power to energize a large percentage of those customers before the heavy lifting in terms of the work actually occurs to replace the pole or replace the infrastructure.
How much of a game changer has that been from a year ago, for example?
It's a huge game changer, right? You think about what this world looks like before some of these technologies. It's you roll a crew out there into the field, they have to spend time patrolling to identify where this particular outage is at and what caused it, and then you don't have that ability to remotely reroute power to energize customers. So the Viper technology truly is a game changer, as you said.
For those waiting to get power back, what's the best way to communicate, whether it's text, phone? How should customers try to call in and get information?
We have, from a technology standpoint, we have the DTE Energy app. I think that is the cleanest, most effective and efficient way to actually report your particular outage. We also have a call center you can call through, but we would recommend everyone to use the app where possible.
Did this come in two waves around 6 and then it rained heavy where I was at least later last night? Was there an extra kick out of outages late in the evening, or can you describe what hit and what rolled through?
Yeah, when the day started yesterday, we were more concerned with what was going to happen after midnight. And there was a weather pattern that came across Lake Michigan that we were expecting to break up and really not materialize into much of anything, but it came across Lake Michigan and stayed intact. And that's what we saw come through southeast Michigan in that 5-6 o'clock window. So when you think about the 300,000 that were impacted, about 270,000 customers were impacted from that weather event. And then after midnight last night in the 1, 2, 3 o'clock window, I know where I live, I was woken up by the rain, the wind, the lightning. That caused another 30 to 40,000 customers to lose power. But the bulk of the outages were caused from the weather event that happened yesterday afternoon.
And if you would, can you take a swing at the assessment? And what I'm getting at is last night on your conference call, you talked about getting eyes on things. Heading into the overnight period might have made it more challenging. Can you talk about, in a layperson sense, that process, given the breadth of what you're talking about in terms of the vast amount of outages? Do you feel you have your arms around the damage now? Are you still assessing? Going into overnight, was that a challenge? How would you describe finding out what you're dealing with, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, damage assessment is a critical part of the restoration process. You have to know what your damage is before you can put the right crews on it, before you can get the right material there. Last night we had over 100 individuals who worked through the night to put eyes on the damage. Right? Obviously they couldn't see all the damage because of the vastness of where the damage is at, but they were able to, on the circuits that they patrolled, identify what damage is there, the extent of it, but then what material needed to be ordered to get it out there into the field so that we can be more efficient during the day today. Also, we were able to utilize some of the information that was generated from the damage assessment process last night to request another 100 crews from local states to come to our territory today. So that damage assessment process was really critical for us and provided a lot of value in terms of understanding the magnitude of the damage out there.
And forgive me if this is an obvious question, last one from me. Are you still worried about energized lines? Do you feel like things have been de-energized in areas where lines are down? Never guaranteeing, of course, I understand 100%, but where are you on the concern of what still may be out there that people should be wary of?
Yeah, similar to the damage assessment process, we had hundreds of individuals work through the night to go to all the wire downs that are out there. Some of them are legitimate wire downs and we either are standing by them or we tape them off, so those are going to be safe. The challenge in an event like this is we can only respond to the wire downs that we're aware of. So that's where the safety message really plays out, is we know there are other wires that are down on the ground right now. People just haven't seen them and we're not aware of them. And again, people should be staying indoors as much as they possibly can to avoid any potential of a safety issue with the down power line. But for what we are aware of right now, we are very comfortable with that position in terms of understanding the number and the location of those wire downs.
Thank you.
Yep.
Brian, I just want to confirm some of the numbers. We have 75% powered up today, 90% tomorrow, and everybody by Friday.
That is correct.
And then the crews, 1,300 altogether, or 1,300 from out of state?
These are 1,300 from out of state.
Okay. And then how many altogether?
Yeah, how many altogether? We would have over 2,500.
Altogether.
Those are just overhead linemen. We also have another 1,200 tree trim crews. We have underground, so there are probably 3,000 field resources that are here.
Those from?
That's right, 1,300 from local states.
Folks who may be using medical devices and are without power, do you guys prioritize them in getting their power restored? Walk us through those steps.
Yeah, from a general prioritization process, obviously the first thing we're worried about are the hazards to the public. Individuals who might be trapped by down power lines or down power lines. So we're really focused first to get those understood. We quickly and sometimes in parallel, we're looking at dispatch centers, police stations, pumping stations, other critical institutions, if you will, businesses, but inclusive of that are individuals who do have medical needs. And we have a great generator process here in our company that we utilize, to where if there is an individual customer who has medical needs and they need power, and maybe the damage is really extensive and it's going to be a little bit of a period of time to get the broader circuit restored, we can roll a generator out to that particular address. So we need that customer though to call into us to let us know of their situation and we can respond accordingly.
Anything else you want to add that we may have missed?
I think for me, it's just, I just want to make sure everyone's aware that we recognize the damage that's out there. We understand the challenging conditions that puts our customers in, and we are fully committed to safely and quickly restoring power to our customers here over the next couple of days. So we ask for a little bit of patience from our customers, but please understand we are out there and working as safely and quickly as we possibly can.